What's up, everybody? Yeah, so I'm gonna do a TLU 2 review. Couldn't think of a better clip to start it with. Spoiler warning: if you clicked on a video called TLU 2 review with spoilers, you should expect spoilers. Little disclaimer: I'm opinionated, um, so I will say things that you don't like. Um, if that offends you, I don't care. I played the game. I put 30 hours into it. I don't know if that was actually my playtime. It was at least 25 though. I played on hard. I beat it. And these are my opinions. I've let the game marinate with me. I think it's been probably about 2 weeks since I finished it. I don't even know. Time flies. Uh, I'm very unmotivated to make this video. I know everybody and their mother's making a TLU 2 review, and there's a lot of people are going to put a lot more effort into it than me. I will not have matching gameplay to what I'm talking about, because I didn't record much of the game. I recorded the sex scene that you just watched, a couple very small cinematic parts, and the ending, like, hour and a half of the game, Santa Barbara. I recorded that. That was it. So this will not be that long of a review. If I talk more than 20 minutes, I'll be surprised. So I think the best way to go through it in my mind is to go through the game, right? Just go chapter to chapter, and just give you brief talks. I mean, I will be doing podcasts with Tony, and I guarantee that we will talk about shit probably for months to come here and there. It's going to be a hot topic, especially once Faction comes out again and we start talking about that. So I guess I can quickly go over the mechanical aspects of it. I'll start with graphics. That was by far the best part. Um, PS4 Pro, 4K, whatever fucking, whatever the fuck the new TVs are nowadays, 8K, I don't know what the fuck they are. Game looked great, okay? Like, to the point where, frankly, like, I probably couldn't even visibly tell how good the game looked. It looked good. It looked about as realistic as I think I've ever seen a fucking game look. I mean, it's fantastic. And look what we're watching. It looks like a damn soap opera. I mean, the shit's fantastic. So, hell, it looks better than a soap opera, honestly. Shit. So they did a great job there. Honestly, 11 out of 10 for graphics. Gameplay-wise, mechanically, I didn't really have too many issues. I thought it was a good game. It was the same premise as the first one. I like that they added at least new things. I feel like they probably could have done more, but they added prone, and what else they do? You can like go in a bunch more stores, but that's more going into gameplay. They added more shit you can craft. Okay, I mean, we expected that, and you can jump in stores and shit, which I always thought you should be able to do in the first one. So that's cool. I like that they added that. Made the place more realistic. Okay. Gameplay wise, I had the same exact problem I had with the first one. I got bored because I was doing the exact same motion over and over and over again. Um, it's different. Like a lot of games like Skyrim and shit, like for whatever reason exploring in that I didn't get bored, right? In some areas, but in this game it just really felt like I was doing the exact same thing and over again. And I think a big factor of that is it was all in the exact same basic look. It was Seattle. They put the whole fucking game in Seattle. So, yeah, they had a couple areas, reminiscent from the first game, spots that looked like the subway you were running with Tess in the first one, things like that. I mean, whatever. Keep in mind, I'm saying a lot of things that are somewhat vague, but just know you know what I'm talking about. But it got boring for me. I felt like every time I'd look around, make sure all the enemies are dead, then I can explore. And then I'd wander around looking at every fucking building. I'd look in every corner. I'd explore the whole fucking map. And I'd just look around. And I saw it, and I'd do it over and over and over again. Rinse, wash, and repeat. And it felt like the same thing. It wasn't for me until... Okay. Now let's go through the chapters. Jackson bored me to fucking tears. I was bored out of my mind. I thought that had so much potential. I really thought they could have put a lot more time into that part of the game, and I feel it would have made it more meaningful. Um, oh, nice, we can watch the sex scene again. But I just feel like Abby's part was really boring. You just wander around and that was it. Ellie's part was worse. We got to hear about bigot sandwiches and have lesbian shit crammed down our throats, which, keep in mind, be gay. I don't give a shit. But I just feel like he was laying it on a little thick. Thank you, Neil Cuckman, for that. I appreciate it. By the way, I thought this sex scene when I first saw it on Twitter before I played the game was two guys fucking. So, real feminine character you picked. I'll tell you what, honestly though, she's the most realistic fucking character in the damn game. You're gonna survive in this world, you gotta get jacked, right? But, I don't think killing Joel that early, the way they did it. Alright, those are two different things. They could kill him early if they made it more meaningful. But the way they killed him, to me, just sucked. It just fucking sucked. It felt like pure shock. It felt like it was just a shock moment, and it immediately died for me. Like I felt nothing. I felt nothing. Not only was I kinda spoiled, right? But even if I wasn't, like, you saw it coming a mile away. Saw it coming a mile a fucking way. And if you say you didn't, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, the first dialogue we hear of Abby is her saying, "Oh, we're here to kill one man." Who the fuck do you think they're there for? Why is she here? We have to have an entire game, okay? Like, there's a whole game you're about to play. No shit, she's about to kill him, right? Oh, she runs into him magically. Oh, see what type of a piece of shit Abby's character is. Saves his life. Maybe he's a changed man. Nope, you're dead. I feel like maybe if he died protecting Ellie or something, you know, that would have been more meaningful. But he just died. He just died. I thought of many ways they could have done the story different, where maybe Ellie and Abby meet. Maybe Ellie was on a scouting run or something, and Abby's on the way there to kill Joel, and they meet. They become friends. They save each other from a horde of infected that they were talking about. You know, the hordes that we got no information about or ever saw or heard any mention of again. You know, I thought we could really have a lot of cool stuff with Jackson. You know, we could have built up ramparts, defended the city. There's a whole bunch of shit I thought they could have done. None of that. Anyways, you know, they could have become friends. They could have, you know, in that way, you know, maybe halfway through the game she kills Joel, you know, and then the revenge quest starts. You know, then you track Abby down, you know, and you go through different shit, and you know, something like that. And then maybe at the end you meet Seattle. You know, I don't know. I feel like the way they did it got repetitive and boring for the whole game. Seattle Day 1 for Ellie, I absolutely hated, and I wanted to just stop playing. The only reason I continued to play the game was because I felt I had a need to do so because of my situation and how I am in the community. For whatever reason, people think my opinion matters, so I played through the game. I thought the open world, pseudo-open world, however the fuck you want to call it, exploration part was extremely boring. The 20-minute ordeal to get through the gates just to get to that part was not inspired, and it put me to sleep. And then you have this giant fucking square of nothing, and all the shit is like just in a straight line. Oh, you find this? Oh, now go back down to the bottom for another question mark. Go back up to the top. Oh, it's a little off to the side. Oh, there's this question mark here. All it is a fireman's axe on top of a bridge. Glad you went through all that effort for that. You already had a machete. I got real excited when I finally got into the game and I realized that the horse died. And there was no more of that. That was, to me, one of the best parts of the game, when the horse died. I was really excited about that. So, yeah. Fuck you, Shimmer. I didn't like the parts on the horse either. I felt I was just, I felt it was pure cinematic, and that was all it was. It's just, you ride this horse and you look at trees. look how beautiful we made our game. That's what I felt they were saying, you know. So yeah, that was the thing. Then you get through the game, you go through it. I didn't really like how Ellie somehow survived that scene. I felt they should have just killed Ellie right there, but no. Oh, don't you think we should see what they do first? What do they know? And then instead of shooting Dina, he decides to try and strangle her. He has a gun. There's a knife. There's like 14 different ways he could have killed Dina on the ground. Or Ellie. Didn't. And then he dies. It's like my suspension of disbelief just, it was shattered there, and it continued to get shattered more and more so throughout the game as the plot armor strengthened. But I feel that was probably the most pronounced moment. You cannot argue with me there. Like, there was no fucking reason that those two characters should have made it out of that situation. At all. At all. Maybe if the guy had like a limp and was visibly retarded, you know. Anyways, the game for me picked up near the end of day one when you're escaping from like the radio center. I found that was cool, reminiscent of the escape from university in the first game. That I had that exact same vibe. It was the same color scheme. With the desk combat and dodging that, I thought, okay, maybe the game's, it just took a while to get into it, right? Those are my thoughts. Hillcrest. I liked Hillcrest a lot. I thought dogs, adding that into the game was a great mechanic. You can't stealth kill a dog, so I was like, oh wow, I actually have to do something with this shit I'm crafting, or I have to shoot it. I have to do something. Or you can dodge them, you know. But I was like, you know, I want to fucking kill these motherfucking dogs. So, you know, I was planning mines. I was having fun. I was actually doing parts of the game that I'd never done in the first one of this. I always stealth killed shit. That's how I went through the game. Like, but I've always done that. When I got to Abby, man, I stopped that shit. I started shooting motherfuckers. But as Ellie, yeah, definitely. That's how I pretty much went through the most of it. And once I got the bow, I felt like combat got so much better. That was their signature thing. I'm glad they introduced it and gave you at least time to use it. Hillcrest was good. What was the next? There was like another. Oh yeah, then you went and killed Nora, right? Yeah, then you went to the hospital. I really enjoyed after you met up with Nora. Through the hospital, I felt it was just another big room and guys and, you know, whatever. It just felt like filler shit until you got to the actual part. The way they introduced the Shambler. Also, I really like the mini boss to get the bow in Hillcrest, because if you read the notes, they talk about the guy and he's like, fuck it, you know, fuck him, I killed them all, I locked him in the thing. I really enjoyed that area. I thought they did a great job with that. Still felt there was a little too much dead space. If you watch my last podcast, I bitched about that for about 30 minutes, but it was very solid overall. They did a great job with the lore, and it made sense why the guy had a bow. Everything made sense there. I enjoyed it. As you move forward, the way they introduced the Shambler, I thought was masterful. It was reminiscent of how Cell was introduced in Dragon Ball Z initially, where you see the damage he did, then you hear it, you smell it, you know, you have all the senses. Sight comes last, right? And the feel of anxiety and dread, you know, it's not going to be worse than a bloater, right? But you know it's going to be something. And then you see this fucking thing literally shamble on and just eviscerate a motherfucker. I was like, that's dope. He just melted that dude. You know, I was like, awesome. You know, had a little less health than I thought he was going to have, but you know, that I'm overall I'm fine with that. I felt if he had more health, they probably couldn't have implemented him as many places as they did. So I thought he was a nice addition to the game as an infected. I feel he is the nice middle step, and I like how there was a note talking about the geography or the biology of the Shambler, and maybe it's due to the high, you know, humidity or whatever of the Seattle area being by the coast, and that's why the Shamblers were formed. I thought that was a nice touch. So they had some type of biology to make it realistic with the world. I enjoyed that. Okay, so through that, I thought the scene where she killed Nora could have been a little better. I feel they could have talked more about Joel. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. You know, hitting the bitch with the fucking hammer and shit, that was okay. Um, I feel like that was a good opportunity for Nora to say, hey, you know, she's the doctor's daughter, or at least start that conversation, or give us something about it. Let me hit all the flashbacks right now. All the flashbacks were some of the best parts of the game. The flashback where you're with Ellie and Joel in the aquarium, or what was it, the museum, that was great. Uh, that was old Teely 1 vibes. I liked that Ellie more. I feel like this Ellie was in that punk rock stage, and she doesn't care about anybody or anything, and she's going to do her own thing, and she felt kind of semi-depressed the whole game, and she had like very little personality, I found. She didn't do the same shit that she used to. She didn't have the same enthusiasm for shit that she used to, and it wasn't as fun playing as her. I felt Abby was a little more fun to play with, and on some levels more realistic, especially during the height scene in the Sky Bridge. I was like, you know what? Personable. I liked playing as Abby. I'll get to her in a minute. So day 3, Seattle. That was the long-ass sequence to get to the island, and how Ellie decided to say, fuck Tommy, I'm going for revenge. That was a character moment for her, and I felt it was a little single-minded, but whatever. I liked the fight scenes with the bloater. I thought the bloater was fucking great. I unloaded all my weapons. I had a feeling that it was near the end of the game, so I started unloading my shit. That was great. I thought it was a nice fight. How the bloater would even just kill the infected. He didn't give a shit. I thought the final fight with the humans as Ellie was dope, and that big ass fucking water arena. I thought that was cool. You could swim, you could go in and out. There were little spots you could go in the middle of shit and up, and there were a lot of nice exploration spots where you're like swinging around the fucking side of a building on a rope to get to the shit. All that was great. I thought that was really good. That was probably the best part of Ellie. I liked the stalkers. They had actual anxiety. They're, inducing a little bit. You had to really think about that, to an extent, especially on the higher difficulties. I'm watching the Santa Barbara clip. I actually really enjoyed this part of the game. I thought the Santa Barbara bit was probably the best part of the whole fucking game for me. Because it really just spoke to Ellie's character. Now, I don't know how the fuck they managed to get back back to Jackson from Seattle as fucked up as they were, but plot armor. Tommy got shot in the head and was fine. You think Abby missed that shot? We watched her headshot Jesse as he's sprinting in like on reflex, and she looks at Tommy on the ground and somehow shot him in the head but didn't kill him? Just blinded? Okay, yeah, sure. No, Abby didn't miss. That's plot armor. They needed a reason to get Abby there, and she broke her promise to Tommy, and at the end anyway, so it's, I don't know. Abby's part, let's go to that. By the way, I don't really give a shit about if a bitch is pregnant or not when they were killing people. I feel it's the apocalypse, you gotta do what you gotta do. Abby's part was by far the best part in the game. Day 1, I enjoyed having a little bit. I feel they definitely needed more time to get us engrossed with the characters and actually care about them. I mean, shit, they unzipped the body bag and it's like, shit, it's Danny. I was like, which one was Danny? Don't care, right? Do not fucking care. We needed more time with those characters to actually give a shit. So their deaths were kind of meaningless to me. I was like, oh, hey, I recognize that guy. He's gonna die in about half a day. But whatever. Day 2, oh yeah, the end of day 1 was kind of cool. They met up with the people. I felt the whole story about him being trans and all that, or whatever, that whole sequence, and how that was the whole crux of like half the game, was because the girl wanted to be a boy, or what was it? Was that it? Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I just felt that was kind of lazy and cuckish. I was like, really? That's the best you got? And you're going to find Owen, and I can't believe it, and it was just some stupid plot thread that pretty much had like no point. It never really went anywhere because Owen just died. And then that chick died. I thought it was kind of cool how she she killed fucking what's his name, the leader of the wolves. What was his fucking name? Isaac. Dope name for a leader, by the way. I thought that was alright. She at least did something to help him get out of that fucking situation. The whole spot on the island, I thought the island was the best part of Abby's shit. That was dope. That was day 3. What was day 2? Day 2 was like helping them and escaping and doing shit. But did you go through the fucking hotel on that, or was that day 3? See, I don't even fucking remember. I think I blacked that part out because whatever I was doing, it wasn't that enjoyable. I liked the yacht though. I thought that was cool. The hotel scene with all the and then you went to the hospital. That's right. Yeah, and I thought the hospital was cool. The Rat King as a boss, that was kind of crazy, but I like how they had the idea of, oh, let's make a big bad boss. I mean, it made sense for the where the outbreak started there to be something crazy, especially if it's been locked for what, 24, 25 years, however long the game's been going. Makes sense, something formed. It being a 2-stage boss fight, one stealthily, one combat. I thought that was really nice. Mix the play styles. Nice arena where you fought them both. I enjoyed it. The low lighting, but you could still see what you're doing. I thought they did a great job with that. Abby's part I enjoyed a lot more. The hotel sequence down, I like how you could see enemies running around, and I feel like they did a better job with that than the hotel they did when you played as Joel in fucking, what was the city? Pittsburgh. I thought that hotel was a little better. I enjoyed it in Tilo 2 more than 1. So Abby was great. I really enjoyed that. That part, pretty much that through the end of the game. I thought Abby's was great. I liked the Santa Barbara bit with Abby as well. How you could see her, she's happy. They're looking for the Fireflies, and that's where they're going after this. She remembered the information, I'm sure. That was probably the only thing keeping her going. Seeing her deteriorated state as well, physically as opposed to Ellie's mental state. I think that was a nice contrast, and it showed where they are as people. Abby's much more mentally there and stable, where Ellie is kind of fucked up. But she's been through a lot of shit, so it makes sense. I feel like Abby had it a little better with her upbringing, where Ellie was much more tragic, and she had to fight a lot more, to get where she was. I don't know how this little tiny girl killed as many people as she did, but let's talk about the Abby and Ellie fights, because that's pretty much the last thing I think to touch on. Abby and Ellie Part 1, I thought it was cool. I like how they implemented Ellie. I actually would watch and see what Ellie did. She went in her bag, she'd craft a trip mine. I like the multiple stages, shotgun, and then, bow and pistol, and I thought that was cool. It was kind of simple. I felt David was better from the first one. I liked David a lot more. I was actually terrified then, because I was playing as this little tiny girl versus this crazy fucking cannibalistic pedophile that, he introduced himself as a nice guy. I still think David is the best character out of both these games. Don't add me. Cyborg David would have been a better fucking protagonist. Absolutely. But yeah, you grab a brick and you hit her and you fucking do that. I mean, or you just kind of wander around and wait till she walks by and you hit her. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, I don't know why she didn't just kill them both. I guess, whatever, but story, we need to keep them going. I feel that, I guess that kind of shows that Abby's trying a redemption arc. I mean, she was getting to that point with Owen, she was getting to that point. They show her getting to that point. She's becoming a better person through the course of this. She probably, on some level, I don't think she regretted killing Joel, but she regretted absolutely the outcome of that with the damage it did on her own friend group, and also, introducing herself to that group of people and seeing how they all died because of her actions in that way. But then again, let's talk about Joel, right? I thought that was good that they had the Joel fight, that scene, how it led, it was a natural continuation to go into the second game from that, because that was the big pivotal moment, right? I swear, okay, I like how they tackled that a little bit, but I felt the best cinematic cutscene was damn near at the end with Ellie talking to Joel, and they're like, hey, and they reckon there's a reconciliation there, and they're like, hey, let's get together. Let's, I don't think I can forgive you, but I can try. I can start. And it sucks that they did that, and then immediately the next day, it's like, boom, dead. You know, it's like Ellie was going through that punk rock, teen phase. Just I hate my parents. It really felt like that to me, and I don't know. It's like he gave you life, and it's like, yeah, it was my choice to make, whatever. Well, you didn't really have a choice in that situation, Like you were just gonna die. You didn't know you were gonna die at the time, you know. Yeah. I personally, I stand with Joel. I think killing the Doctor and saving Ellie was absolutely the best part of his character arc, and it made sense, especially due to Sarah, and it made Sarah's death more meaningful. It made the game more meaningful. It made everything meaningful. That's why Tulu 1 was a good game. I think Tulu 1 is still better than the second one. Now, do I think? I think gameplay overall, it was more straightforward, and I wasn't as bored in many spots. I like Tulu 1 more than 2. Graphics wise, Tulu 2 blows it out of the fucking water, obviously. Now, okay, the second fight here, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. I was trying to figure out exactly what I could do, but I was a little blown back at how the hell Abby's still alive after, how many damn knife swipes? Like, I beat the living shit out of this bitch, man. And she just, and in this part, I actually didn't want to kill her. I didn't want to, and then she stands back up. So they make it happen, but I feel it could have been interesting if they gave you the choice to kill Abby or not. That could have been a nice twist. What else to talk about? I guess I can talk about the scene with Dina, and they had a life and all that, and she's having these flashbacks, and Ellie's all traumatized. I guess that makes sense. It all makes sense, but Ellie saving Abby, that was a nice touch. That was kind of interesting how that worked out. I think overall, I'm not going to say it's a bad game. It's not. I think I stand by my 6 out of 10. But I will not be playing this again. The only time I would play through this game again, by the way, Abby chopping off or biting off her fingers and her not being able to play guitar, that's the price of revenge. That was a main theme throughout the game, was revenge, So I think the only time I'd ever play through this game again is if people wanted me to stream it, and I might do that prior to like Factions 2, when they eventually probably release that as a full game, like a year or so from now. That's what I'm assuming their timeline is. COVID's slowing everything down, so who knows? Yeah, Abby had some fucking lungs. Yeah, this was, I think, the best scene right here. This little cutscene with them. But yeah. So I mean, that's Tulu 2. The ending where Ellie just walks off sad. Who knows if she's going back to Jackson or not? We don't know. I mean, there's gonna be a Tulu 3. I think they will make a Tulu 3. I don't know if they're gonna have Abby in it. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do, because now they're at this point where Abby and Ellie went their ways, right? I know Abby ain't gonna hunt down Ellie. I don't think Ellie's gonna hunt down Abby, because she's having this cathartic moment right now where she's like, that's not what Joel would have wanted, or whatever the fuck. Joel probably, he would have hunted down anybody that killed Ellie, right? But the point is, he wouldn't want Ellie to do this to herself and her life over him. That's what I mean. It's not the same thing. He wants Ellie to be a better person than Joel, right? Than himself. But I mean, I guess that's cool that Lev and then Abby are having a life or whatever, kind of like on a Joel Ellie thing. I'd be surprised if they make them the main characters in the next game. I feel like Ellie's definitely the character. They could end it here, and I'd be fine. I'd be totally fine. Go start a new IP. It's definitely something though. It's definitely something. I feel I felt bittersweet. I feel like there were so many different avenues they could have gone. So many different avenues they could have gone to explore more of the world. They could have, I think, made it a much better story. Like like I discussed a couple ideas early on. I mean, I could ramble for another probably half hour just on what I would have, what I think could have been a better way to do it. But I only got about another minute of gameplay here that I recorded. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. Well, I guess I could add I got the gameplay where I walk in there and fuck around with the guitar in the end, but I think I've rambled on long enough. This is about 30 minutes. Hope this was a decent body shots and banter, even though it really wasn't. It was just me rambling. But I wanted to put my thoughts out there, my full thoughts for the game. I think I went through the whole thing. I think I discussed everything I want to talk about. Overall, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I feel it has like no replayability, and the idea of getting a platinum trophy by watching some fucking YouTube video of a guy wandering around endlessly is just painful to me. So anyways, I think that'll do it. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. If you stayed to the end of the video, you're a real one. Have a nice day, and take it easy, everybody. Cheers. I decided to add the ending just because I feel like some people probably want to watch it again, but this is to me the best part of the game. This cutscene and yeah, just mainly the cutscene. I feel like the ending of her walking away sad is kind of. I mean, I guess it makes sense due to what happened, but I don't know. I kind of wanted Ellie to have a happy ending, I guess. But I mean, this isn't really a happy story, so yeah. I think overall, I guess the ending's okay, but I feel it could have been better. Could have had a different thing. It just left me like with a bated breath. I was just like, you know, like an empty feeling. I was like not satisfied, not angry, just like okay, it's over. So, anyways, I'll let this play out, and y'all have a good one. Peace. One last praise. The detail they had throughout the game was crazy. There was silverware, there were toppings on pizza, there were elevator registries with full, all 50 floors had shit. I gotta give them credit for that. But that kind of, to me, goes around with, like, graphics, you know? I mean, like, all that was fantastic, but you expect that from a Naughty Dog game. But, yeah. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Probably won't be playing it again. Let me know if y'all want to stream or something of me playing through it again. It's up to y'all. I'll do it if y'all want me to. Man, look, she looks all sad. Yeah, that's it. Okay, peace. Take care, Joel. Yeah, he was a good character. He was the best character Naughty Dog ever made. Anyways, peace. Last complaint, while you're going through the game, there's literally no music. It's just slight ambiance. It made me so fucking tired. Great musical score when it's there. It just, I understand why, but just have some type of something, right? I was so fucking just droned. I'm just walking around and there's just nothing. It's just nothing. It just felt lazy from. I mean, I know the first game was like that, but I mean, shit. I mean, when you're gonna have a fucking 30-hour campaign and it's pretty much damn near silenced all fucking way through, I'm like, fuck. It's a silent movie? The hell? There's a reason that shit went extinct. Okay. Watch the clip. Stay tuned to the end. I made an edit. Crazy shit, right? Peace.
A little embarrassed.
I had Seth under control.
Yeah, I know.
And you need to stop harassing Jesse about my patrols.
Okay. Dina. Is she your girlfriend?
No. No, that was just one kiss. It doesn't mean anything. She just, I don't know why she did that.
But you do like her.
So stupid.
I have no idea what that girl's intentions are, but I do know that she would be lucky to have you.
You're such an asshole.
I'm not trying to.
I was supposed to die in that hospital. My life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
Yeah. I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
I'd like that.
Okay. I'll see you around.
Yep.